Hey, what's going on there, YouTube? This is James, and today I'll be showing you how to properly wire and connect an aftermarket stereo for your 1994 to 2005 Mitsubishi Eclipse. In order to do this properly, you need to buy at least 4 female phono jacks, a spool of solder, heat shrink tubing, and the wire and harness adapter kit. Everything you need to buy will be linked in the description, so please check it out. Stay tuned and we'll get right into it. Alright, for starters, you need to get this faceplate off, and to get at that, there are 2 screws located at the bottom of this bracket. There's one right here, and there's another one over here. You need a small Phillips screwdriver to be able to get at it, as you only have so much room to work with. Once you get those screws put out, put them in a safe spot where you can find them, and where I like to keep mine, right in this little compartment. After you have removed the 2 screws out of the dash, you want to lightly pull the dash piece towards you. Remember, this is plastic, and there are 2 tabs that are right here and right here that hold this thing in place. So you want to be very careful. You want to pull it towards you. Once you have it up in your hands, you're going to remember that there's your hazard light. You want to lift that up and disconnect that. All you do is pull in the tab, push it out towards you. You should be looking at this. There's going to be 4 screws holding in the stereo. There's 2 on the left, 2 on the right. And same deal, you can use the same small bit Phillips screwdriver, or you can use the launder tip screwdriver to get those 4 out. Okay, so once you have the 4 screws out to hold it in the stereo, you can take a look at the back here. This is the original stereo plug-in, so if you're still working with the same stock stereo that you currently have, no aftermarket, this is the stock plug-in. And once you buy your wiring harness, there's going to be this plug right here. It's the same plug-in. It has 4 wires, but really you're only using 2. You're using the red and you're using the yellow for ground and power. And what that does is, when you do look for a aftermarket radio, right now I have a JVC. The reason why I got it is for the Bluetooth, the auxiliary, and the USB. So every single brand new stereo that you purchase is going to come with the wiring harness kit that plugs in the back of the stereo. And take a look right here. It's all the speaker wiring to hook it up, and then it's gonna see, you can see the red and you're gonna see the yellow. With the adapter kit that you buy, you're gonna have to solder in the red on red and yellow on red and yellow on yellow. All you do is strip them and then solder it and heat shrink too. Now when it comes to wiring in your speakers, this is where it gets a little bit more challenging, because you're working with more solder and you gotta be more precise. But how you doing it? And in my first video I mentioned you could use RCA splitters to the back of the stereo, and yeah, it works, but I don't recommend it. I'm going to show you how to properly do it, or at least, tell you how to do it, so that when you do it, you can do this properly without any troubles, the way I have it now. And each stereo kit, this is the RCA connections. You got green, you got the purple, you got the white, and then you got the gray. These are the 4 speakers that connect. So you got the left, right, and then the rear and the center speaker. These are what gives the power speakers. And every Eclipse, at least for the 2001 Mitsubishi Eclipse that I currently have, the stock radio is underneath the passenger seat. That runs on the DIN cable, which is this big black wire right here. That's for the DIN, and the DIN, you want to have the DIN cable remote wire connected to your stereo. A tip when you're working with this is, you only got, like, if you're holding on this and working with solder, it gets very hot, so I would probably you should wear some good weather gloves. And another easy tip would be to purchase some Flux. That makes the solder flow more easier and you get a better connection. And if you take a look right here, you're going to do this for all 4 of the speakers. So you got the purple, you got the white, you got the gray, and you got the green. Same deal goes for every single phono jack. Ground wire goes on the bottom, which means that the ground wire is going to have a black stripe through it. right there. Black stripe goes on the bottom on every single female phono jack. And what's really nice about this, if you ever want to take this apart, there's this little clamp here that you can twist and turn to lock it in place or to loosen it. I really enjoy these, and these are very reasonable. You can get 10 of them for around $8 off of eBay, and these will work just as fine. You don't need the perfect red and white. You can go through just black, you can go through yellow. Doesn't matter what kind you get, as long as it's an RCA female phono jack that's a soldering one. It's going to have the tip like this, and you can open it up and you can see the guts of it. This is probably going to take you, depending on how good you are with soldering, maybe 30 minutes to do it, to do all four. Do one at a time, let it sit, and pull on the wires just a tiny bit just to make sure that these aren't going to come loose, because you don't want to do it all at once and then put everything back together and drive down the road for a week and find out that one of your speakers cuts out and you notice that, well, one of the solder joints disconnected. So be careful, take your time on this. This is the most important part, is the soldering. Once you get that done, you should be good to go. I'm going to show you a little demonstration. If you don't have these connected properly, you're going to hear a noticeable difference in your audio. So here we go. We're going to pull off the green. We're going to pull off the purple. We're going to pull off the white. You can tell every time you disconnect a wire, you're not getting all your speakers power. This is because these are what powers on your speakers from your stock Eclipse amp. I believe it's an infinity amp that's behind your passenger seat. So that's just a little demonstration on if you don't have these soldered in correctly. Another quick tip that I'd like to mention is if you're going to install subwoofers in your vehicle, one tip would be, if you're going to do the stereo installation and then install subwoofers, you can automatically wire in your remote wire to your amp, and all you do is you take the 3 wires. So this is the remote wire to the amp. This one is from the DIN cable, and this one is for coming from the wiring harness. And all you do is you want to twist the wires, probably with a wire nut. You want to twist them together and then take it apart. And then again, you want to use some flux and some solder and just make it a solid joint. And then you want to heat shrink it, and then that should be solid as a rod. That should not be going anywhere. That's the way you can do it. You don't, and again, yes, you could probably install a toggle switch if you wanted, because again, a toggle switch runs on 3 wires. You could possibly do that too. All in all, I believe doing everything the first time took me at least 2 hours trying to figure this out, wiring and soldering this. It's not bad, especially if you're gonna go to a retailer that does car audio stuff. They're going to be charging you at least $75 an hour, depending where you're at. Doing this, I mean, yeah, you're going to need the most, I guess, more advanced tool would be the soldering gun, and a little bit of knowledge on how to use it. So it might not be for everyone, but if you got some knowledge in soldering and got like a little heat gun, soldering gun, a spool of solder, and a little bit of common sense. And again, you don't need to disconnect your battery. This is just for your stereo, so it's not bad. Hopefully this helps everyone. Shoot me a message if you have any more questions. I'm sorry it's been so long. I'm working full time, and this is just something that I had a few people ask me about. A little bit of updates. I'm trying to make it as clear as possible. Again, the most difficult part is just wiring in your stereo speakers. That's probably the most difficult part to do for this whole entire stuff. Everything else is plug and play, and it's not bad. But shoot me a message or in the comments section if you have any more questions. I'll be sure to answer it. Hopefully this helps more people out, and be sure to check out my other videos in the near future. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.